and Klopp share the spoils at Anfield. What a game! What a game! Woo.
On the plot, Malaysia!
Hello! Welcome to the Plot Malaysia. This is our 87th episode. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans!
And it's
Live.
Well, guys. Welcome to our 87th episode, of course. And of course, this is live. Thank you so much for joining us. Do let us know what your thoughts throughout this chat. But hey, hurry. We are not alone today again, right?
Oh, bro, we're not alone today again. We've got a very special guest today, guys, because we're going to be obviously reviewing the weekend's fixtures, and we've got a very, very special guest on, Ram, don't we? We've got a West Ham fan.
Yes.
Tell us who it is. Tell us who it is, Ram.
All right. So we've got a West Ham fan all the way, of course, in our backyard from Kuala Lumpur itself. He's 19 years old. And of course, he is a diehard West Ham fan. So let's welcome our first timer on the Plot Malaysia, Mr. Kesha.
Hey!
Yo! Kesha, welcome to the Plot
Kesha.
Malaysia.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome, man. It's good to have someone new on the show. It's good to have a West Ham fan on the show, guys. It's what we always talk about. This show is a platform for fans of all football clubs in the Premier League or even across multiple leagues to have a voice, have an opinion. And so we're really interested to get Keshav's opinions about the weekend matches as well and about football in general and what's going on with the Hammers. Obviously had a bad result this weekend, but we'll talk about that in more detail very, very shortly.
Yep, definitely. So, Hari, since you mentioned we're going to start, so what are we going to start with? Which game are we going to start with? To put Keshav on the spot.
before we get to that, guys, let's go through the results of the weekend very quickly, as we always do. Early kickoff, Man United drop points again at home again.
So did Liverpool. Come on,
Man United won. Everton won. Guess what, Ram? I predicted that result. If you remember in the preview show, everyone predicted a storming United win. I said 1-1. So I'm very happy about that prediction, actually.
Good for you. Good to
It was Rafa Benitez masterclass. Burnley drew 0-0 with Norwich at home. Bit of a drab affair. First point on the board for Norwich, though. After a long time. Chelsea 3-1 against Southampton. They had a really tough game, actually.
I predicted this scoreline.
Yeah, but interestingly, right, Ram, this was a very close game. We'll talk about this, I'm sure, but Southampton had James Ward-Prowse sent off, and the game changed on that. It was 1-1 at that point in time, right? Leeds 1, Watford 0. Good win for Leeds. Wolves 2, Newcastle 1. There's a new Korean star in the league. It's not just Son Heung-min, it's Hyung Hee Chang Hwan. For Wolves.
Yes, Hwan.
Yes, Hwan, and he's got both the goals. He's got 3 goals in the league already. So you got a new Korean star in the league. The
Kimchi Samgyeopsal, we love you. Yay!
Yep. Brighton 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal brought down to ground a little bit. Brighton were actually very good in the game. I thought they played some brilliant stuff. Crystal Palace 2, Leicester 2. Leicester can't buy a win right now, man. They were 2-0 up. 2-0 up, and they conceded 2 goals, and Palace were brilliant, actually. I thought Palace deserved to win it. Spurs finally got a win against Villa 2-1. They got a scare at 1-1. But guess what? Son Heung-min turned it on, man. I don't know if you saw that second goal at the second half. Son ran the show. He was absolutely brilliant in that game, and he saved them, the blushers. Keshav, sad to say, but West Ham won. Brentford 2. Brentford on an absolute roll. Can't stop scoring, can't stop winning.
They can't stop winning,
winning. Absolutely brilliant. Home, away, they still get results. And then obviously the game we're going to start with, guys, the standout fixture of the weekend. Sometimes these big games disappoint and they become dull affairs. This one was anything but. It was absolutely thrilling. What a game, Ram. What a game. So we're going to talk about a classic, an absolute classic at Anfield. And that's first up, guys. So let's start.
I have to say, it was a cracking game, Hari. Before we start, I'm going to say it was a cracking game. Kudos to both the teams. I thought they were very entertaining. Wow, what a game. What a game.
Yeah, and actually, I'd like to get neutral point of view on this. I'm sure you guys will have to want to ask me about Liverpool from a Liverpool perspective as well. But let me get some neutral perspective, and let's get Keshev's thoughts on this first. Keshev, this was an absolute classic at Anfield, in my opinion. But from a neutral point of view, I knew you were watching it with your brother, who's a Liverpool fan, and you caught the whole game. But your thoughts on the game in general?
I thought that first half Liverpool were not what I thought Liverpool are attacking team. You know, they press on the front foot, but it just didn't seem like they were that team. They looked very safe. They passed safe. They were
very poor, actually. Yep.
Poor.
Very
Yeah,
poor,
the
yeah.
passing wasn't accurate because when I saw the game, every time Liverpool got the ball, Man City pressed. So they didn't have that opportunity to find this pass for Salah or Mane to run him through.
Yep.
And I thought Man City dominated first half.
Completely dominated. Agreed. Yep.
Liverpool dominated in the second half. So I thought it was two different stories in first half and second half. Yeah.
Yes, agreed with that thought, man. Now, what about you, man? As a United fan, watching this game, obviously both teams are rivals for you. You probably wanted a draw, so you got a draw. But what were your thoughts on the game in general, man?
To be very honest, I knew Anfield was not an easy place for any team to go. Obviously, you know they are strong. It's Liverpool's fortress. But I was surprised, like what Keshav said. You know, City dominated the first half. I was expecting Liverpool to take the game to Man City, and Man City was going to defend and hold up the play and so on and so forth. But I have to say, Liverpool turned on the star in the second half. I thought Salah was absolutely brilliant. I don't know. I don't know if United fans are going to be happy with me saying this, but I think after watching Salah's performance yesterday, he scored 7 goals on the trot. He's an absolute fantastic of a striker. I think right now I can safely say that he is one of the, if not the best striker in Europe right now. Absolute brilliance from him. I was very impressed.
Strong words coming from a United fan, actually, but good to hear, man. Keshav, are you of the same opinion? Mo Salah is the finest forward currently on form in the world, not just in Europe.
Definitely, I would say I'll put him up there. I thought he played very well in the second half. And you know, when Salah's always on that pitch, I always get frightened, even when West Ham play Liverpool. So I always tell myself, hopefully Salah doesn't score and he scores. So I have, But look, he's a great player, and I wish everybody could have him on every team. So he will be a huge bonus. So yeah, definitely.
Awesome. From a Liverpool point of view, guys, let me give you thoughts. I mean, I'm sure you guys will have, Ram, you may have a question for me as well, but let me give you an initial thought as well. As a Liverpool fan approaching the game, I was quite confident actually, because we normally play well in a full Anfield against City. We've got a good record when there are fans in the stadium against City, but very disappointed with the start. I thought the first 10 minutes was quite even. We were probably playing better. We were pressing. But after that, from 10 minutes to 45, I was just hoping and praying for the halftime whistle, because we were horrendous. What we were doing was we kept giving the ball back to City. We won it and he kept giving it back. And City, to credit to Pep Guardiola here, right? Because I'm sure you guys saw this as well. He recognized that we had a weakness in the squad. Trent was injured. We were playing with a 35-year-old Milner at right back, who's not even a right back, and he targeted Milner. He actually played Phil Foden on the left. Normally, Grealish plays on the left, but he put Foden on Milner, and he put all his attacks through Phil Foden. Everything that City did in that first half, if you notice, came through Phil Foden on the left-hand side. So they targeted Milner, and he obviously, at the end of the day, I'm sure you guys agree, he was lucky to stay on the pitch. Probably should have been sent off. But they were targeting him, and I don't blame Milner for that. Obviously, he's aged as well. And he couldn't cope because he was not given protection as well. Henderson was not tracking back enough. There was a lot of issues with the Liverpool midfield in that first half. I thought Liverpool were very poor in the first half. The midfield especially, they kept winning the ball back and then losing it. Every time they got the ball back, they passed it back to them. And the people responsible, I thought Fabinho had a poor first. I thought Henderson in general had a poor game overall. I thought he was poor. I thought Curtis Jones grew into it later in the game, but also wasn't great. So I thought our weakness yesterday was not our defense, it was actually our midfield. It was not giving enough cover to Milner, who was obviously left alone on the right. And I thought the midfield was where it was a bit disjointed yesterday. You can't. And I can understand why as well, because Liverpool were missing 2 outstanding players yesterday, right? 2 of our best playmakers on the ball. Hi, Eugene. Welcome to the show. I was just talking
Hey,
about what.
Eugene.
Hi,
What's up?
Rama.
Just
What's up?
Hi, Harry.
yeah,
Nice to
hi,
meet you. You're on this side.
Keshav.
On
Keshav
this side.
from Keshav,
Keshav,
West Ham fan.
Hi.
Oh, SFN. Hi.
West Ham fan. So, I was just telling them, I was just telling everyone, Eugene. I think, yesterday Liverpool had a horrendous first half, right? And I thought in general we were missing the midfield was a bit disjointed in the first half. It grew a bit into it, but it was a bit disjointed. And I think the big issue was we kept losing the ball after we won it back. But the big issue was we were missing two of our best playmakers. Our best playmakers in the Liverpool team are Thiago Alcantara. He can hold the ball, he can control the midfield, and he can play passes. He can keep the ball for you. And against Man City, the problem is because they press so much, you need someone who's brave enough to hold the ball and keep the ball in midfield. So we missed him. The other person we really missed was Trent, because Trent is a ball-playing right back. He's a playmaker right back, right? So I think City would be scared with Trent playing because he can play a ball through to Salah on the right, a long ball through. He can drill a ball into the forwards from defense, and suddenly we're on the attack. And also, I think Foden would have had more of an issue because he'd have more tracking back to do if Trent played. Because Trent likes to bomb forward more, and Milner didn't have the engine to go up and down as well. I thought we were missing both of them. But I mean, I've got to say, second half, we were outstanding. I knew Klopp was going to change something in halftime. I was praying for the halftime whistle. It came. And then I knew there was going to be a different Liverpool that turned out, and a different Liverpool turned out in the second half. I thought we were outstanding. We pressed them from the front. Our forwards got involved. Jota was getting chances. Salah was unplayable. The best footballer, the best forward in the world right now, Salah, was outstanding for both goals. And then even Mane, it's good to see Mane coming into form, because Mane didn't start well in that first half. He was losing the ball a lot. Second half, he got into gear, scored an outstanding goal. So in general, I can say a draw was a fair result. I'm happy because the first half we had. But I think if you just look at the second half, we probably should have won it, because Fabinho, if you remember, had an outstanding open goal in front of him. And he was denied by one of the best goal line clearances, tackles you've ever seen from Rodri.
That was. I thought it was going in. And all of a sudden, Rodri came in.
It was an open goal.
It was an open goal. And Rodri was Samson, I agree, man. Salah. It's all about Salah. Salah was absolutely amazing. Before we get to you, Eugene, I want to get your opinion, Keshav. How good was Mo Salah in that second half, man, for both the goals?
Brilliant, I would say. Really good. There's a reason why he's one of the best players. There's a reason why he's got that quality in him. And he's just shining at Liverpool. It just reminds me of when he came, I think, at Liverpool 2015-16, I think, or
2017,
yeah. He was on fire that season. So I think he might replicate it this season as the same way he did.
Actually, that's a really, really good point. He's got 9 goals in 9 games this season, all competitions as well. And a lot of assists as well. So that's a great point, man. He's on course. He's actually going at a faster rate than that first season at this point of the season. So he's on course, if he keeps this up, to actually go equally or better than what he did then. So I agreed on that one, man. Eugene, how good was that Salah goal, man? If Messi scores, this is the part where I want, as a Liverpool fan, people may say I'm being biased here, etc. But I want to get your opinion as well, right? He is one of the most underrated players. He has scored this kind of goal against Spurs. He scored a goal like this against Spurs before, a Messi-like goal. He's done it again. He scores wonder goals. He scores all the time, but he doesn't get the kind of credit like a Messi or some of the top, like a Robert Lewandowski.
You know why?
Yes,
because
tell us why.
He's from Africa, just like Son. He's from Asia, right?
And he doesn't get the credit.
The only recognition that is somehow or another blown up to this, the hype that you see it right now. The truth, Mo Salah has always been there about for every season in Premier League. He has scored at least 20 goals minimum per season, if I'm not mistaken. For the past 4 years, 5 years. Right. And he's still been, he's just Mo Salah, right? No big hype on him and all that. But it's good for Liverpool in that sense, because if there was hype for him, Real Madrid will come for him, Barcelona will come for him. You get the kind of big teams will come for players like that. But some another, once you go under the radar.
I think Barcelona can't afford to go for anyone now, man.
Oh, not now. Barcelona, Real Madrid could have taken him up 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Before he signed his extension. Don't forget, he's about 4 years there now. I think he just recently signed another 4 years
No,
again.
no, no. He's actually got
waiting
a
in
contract.
talks, in talks.
He's got a contract running down. Which
Oh,
is
now
actually,
he's running out. He could have gone a year ago or 2 years ago.
yeah.
But what I'm saying, it's sad to say sometimes, the good players that come from outside of Europe and South America are always often overlooked. The skills that Salah has, right? It's not to say on par with Messi. Messi is like a genius kind of player. You see,
it's comparable.
It's comparable. It's not on par, but it's comparable. But sometimes you don't get the spotlight on him. Correct.
No,
but
actually, you know what? He's the most. Let me put it this way, Keshav as well, and Eugene and Ram. I'm sure you agree with this. But in the world, can you think of a player closest to Messi, the most Messi-like player in world right now? You would say Mo Salah. The way he plays is very similar. Everything, the style, the movement on the left foot, the way he jinks left, right. You don't know which way he's going to go. He makes a mockery of
he's there, right? I mean, based on natural talents and all that, he's there. But like you said, overlooked. But blessing in disguise for you guys. If he was, really hyped up, he won't be there anymore. And the sad part is that he's an ex-Chelsea product. That's why I'm saying Chelsea somehow or another has got the best youngest players in the world in the moment in their system, right? And they paid for it, right? They had a transfer ban for two transfer windows or 3 transfer windows. They couldn't buy players because they did something naughty in doing that, right? But Liverpool against Man City. Honestly, to tell the truth, I didn't watch the game, but I was in and out listening to it, right? The Salah goal, and somehow or another, the last 15 minutes, I watched it because it was so exciting at 2-2, right? And that's how I saw the Rodri. That was, really the Rodri save, right? That was a real good save. Open goal and all that. But 2 big guns going each other. Like you said, if Trent was there and Thiago was there, maybe Klopp would have a different plan. And Klopp is a very smart manager. He played to your weaknesses, guys. And now I think Harry has to admit a bit, right? The depth of your squad is not actually complete yet.
Of course. I always said, right?
And don't forget, Harry. When January comes, right, you're gonna lose Salah. You're gonna lose money, and let's see what happens then. You guys have to be ready for that.
Well, because of the African Cup of Nations, is that right?
Yeah, but I got a feeling we got something in the works. I got a feeling they're going to sign someone early January. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
They have something. I think they have something.
They have to have something in the works.
They have something agreed already. I think so. But
maybe you guys will sign Harry Kane.
Maybe Harry Kane might, but I don't think so. It'll fit Liverpool system though. I don't think so.
But you know what? Not people say Liverpool's squad issue. I agree. We don't have a deep squad, right? I agree. But at the same time, Thiago is one of the best midfielders in the world, right? He's an outstanding midfielder. If you take Kevin De Bruyne out of City, who's their best midfielder, they would struggle in the game. So it's easy to point somewhere, but if you take a top player out of any team, you struggle.
The depth of MCT is crazy. You can't say
who replaces Kevin De Bruyne? Who is as good as Kevin De Bruyne in MCT squad?
You can't have 2 as good at one position.
Exactly what I'm trying to say. You can't have as good as Trent. You can't have as good as Thiago.
Yes, but you must have at least. Players. Okay, the thing is that when Trent left, you put in Milner. You lost 1 leg. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
because Trent goes up and comes down, goes up and comes down. Milner can't go up and come down, go up and come down. If he does that, right, you guys will have lost the game.
This is a very interesting point. This is a very interesting point, Keshav. I want your thoughts on this. Ram, I want your thoughts on this as well, right? Let me ask Ram about this, Ram. This is interesting, right? You say we should have a strong right back backup. Okay, Trent barely gets injured normally in a season. He hardly gets injured. Like, he's quite a solid guy, right? And he plays pretty much every game. He's that good. He's 21 years old. He's the best right back in the world, pretty much. He plays every game, right? So now, which right back? You have to be a decent right back to play for Liverpool, right? You can't just have a crappy backup. You got to have quite a good standard backup, right? Which backup right back would be happy to move to Liverpool to sit on the bench? The only way they would do that if they are paid ridiculous amount of money. Liverpool don't do that. Man City do that, right? They break their wage structure. So which right back would come and play and sit on the bench? No one.
Yeah, because
so how do you do it? How do you juggle a situation like that?
Harry, you look at Spurs. Who's going to come out and play a backup striker for Harry Kane?
Exactly what I'm trying to say.
We're in the same dilemma. So right? If we buy a big name, no big name is going to come to us.
And the reason Man City can do this, Keshav, I'm sure you have a point of view on this as well, is because they have the money. So they can pay them a ton of money to sit on the bench.
Yep.
You don't mind sitting on the bench if you're getting paid £200,000 a week, maybe, and if you're winning a title
All
as well,
the
right?
oil is pouring in from the Middle East. It's like, you know what? Have all the money in the world to pay the players. Yeah. So yeah.
But anyway, guys, onto the game itself, I know it was, like I said, brilliant second half. I thought the second half was outstanding. In your opinion, let me start with Rahman. I'll go around. In your opinion, is it fair to say the two best teams in the league?
At this point of time, the way they both played, yes, I have to say, I have to give credit where it's due, because I thought, yes, the first half probably made me think that, okay, City was the better team. Maybe City could have got a result. City could have won the game. I even texted Harry at halftime, and he just ignored me. He was like, "Don't. I'm not messaging anyone. I'm not replying." But in the second half, Liverpool showed character, and that's what I think. A lot of teams are lacking. When it comes to showing that character in that second half. Because you know what, I noticed something in the game though. I noticed that Jurgen Klopp was like, "Come on, be brave, be brave."
Yes.
He was yelling at the players, "Be brave."
He
Because at that
wanted
point of
them.
time-
He wanted them
Yeah.
to keep hold of the ball and take an extra pass, take an extra second, be a bit more
Yes.
composed. Yeah.
But that's the difference. That's the difference, right? The manager yells out and say that, "Hey, you know what? Be brave," and they listen to it. They went for it, and that spilled over in the second half, and you got a good game in the hands. Because if Liverpool did not do that, City would have won the game, plain and simple.
I agree. I agreed.
So,
Keshav,
Keshav,
what about you, man? Are these the two best teams in the league in your opinion? And was this the best game of the season so far, quality wise?
100%, yes. I agree totally. Man City and Liverpool, it's not just the quality, it's also the way they play. They both have similar playing styles, but Man City have got the money, but Liverpool are able to develop the players through Klopp, while Guardiola needs the money. I would say that's the difference. And if I were to pick who would really fit, I'm just saying, putting West Ham in there, Klopp would be perfect, because buying players is of course another thing, but buying the right players that is fitting your squad's way of playing is also another way of key to winning games and also getting points. It's not just simply buying players, it's about your recruitment strategy, how you get your players, is it the same character you want in the squad, will it fit the formation and all that. So yeah.
That's a really good point, man. I think Liverpool's recruitment strategy has got to be given credit. I know our squad is not as deep, but of course that's the money factor. But they barely get any signings wrong, right? And Klopp and the team do a very detailed. They have a very detailed approach to recruitment. If you guys have heard about it, what they do is they really research every player that they go after. They're not just about their playing style and how they play for their teams, but into their characters, what they are like off the field. How they are like with their teammates, and I think that's why the team spirit is brilliant in the team. And if you see, right, Liverpool is all about team spirit, working as a unit, getting the fans,
the synergy was really good. Yeah.
You're going to look after your mate. You're going to back him up on the field, because he's your mate on the field and off the field. They've got a great relationship off the field as well. If you watch the videos, etc. So, great point on that front about Liverpool and the strategy.
Interesting point by Mikhail. What does he say? Many simple examples. The sport has come a long way to be one of more inclusive, but the narratives further in media are still around the European players most.
Exactly. We're talking about Mo Salah, talking about they're not getting the recognition. Mane is another great example. Doesn't get the kind of recognition he deserves. Right? These are all outstanding players. And then actually we come to that point, Eugene, as we round up the chat about Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah. But you haven't asked me yet who are the two best teams.
I'm going to ask you that. Before I ask you that, I've got another interesting question, right? There was another outstanding player on the field yesterday, apart from Mo Salah. In my opinion, Mo Salah got credit, but that player actually got more credit for some reason. But it's fair enough. He was brilliant as well. I thought Phil Foden had a brilliant game. What were your thoughts on Phil Foden? I know you didn't see much of the game, but what you heard about the game, Phil Foden?
I guess to tell the truth, I didn't see the game at all. But when I switched on, I think Phil was still on the pitch, if I'm not mistaken. He played the full 90, right?
Yep.
But Phil Foden, England player. What do you expect? He's a young player, coming player. So I guess he will get the media coverage, of what he has done. And to tell the truth, he has the potential, right? If Pep trusts him, he should get his chance. He's something like Mason Mount, at that level in Chelsea. That's why when you were saying who are the best, actually, to me now, there are actually 3 teams going for the Premier League, right? And it's actually Chelsea, M City, and Liverpool. But sorry to say, Harry, Liverpool's depth in squad might not be too helpful to them when the season plays along with injuries and coming up. Don't forget, we are going into the international break again. Don't forget, Spurs were top during the first international break. Then the international break broke us, right? And then we lost 3 in a row, right? And of course, we lost 3 in a row. But at least we won yesterday. That's one part.
No, fair enough. I mean, Phil Foden, I thought was brilliant yesterday, but that's the point, right? Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, they get a lot of hype because they're English players, good players, but I think they get a lot more hype than some of the other players. Players who
of
come
course.
from Africa, like Mo Salah, like Sadio Mane, like the Son Heung-min, who I'm going to get to as well. I thought he was outstanding yesterday, Sonny. I saw that second half against Villa. He was unbelievable, unplayable. So, I think they don't get enough credit. In fact, just a good example of yesterday's game, Phil Foden was rated as the best player for City. In my opinion, he wasn't even the best player for City. I thought Bernardo Silva.
Oh yeah, I heard that part too.
Yeah, he was
brilliant. He ran
five players couldn't take the ball off him, and he managed to make the pass to Foden. Was it? I think he made the pass to Foden. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah. So I thought he was absolutely outstanding. And there's one player, Almighty Blues here. Ankit says this. If there's one player I want Liverpool to sign, is Son Heung-min. I've always said this and I always maintain he would be perfect for Liverpool's game. He will be the perfect Bobby Firmino replacement in that team, Son Heung-min. So hopefully he comes. Hopefully we get him. Anyway, Spurs may get relegated, so maybe the opportune moment to get him.
Chill.
Let's hope Bobby is not watching.
All right, guys, listen, it was an absolutely outstanding game. I think it's fair to say we've got to end this this part of the show, this segment, with Mo Salah running down the wing. Salah, the Egyptian king. Mo Salah. All right, guys, now let's move on.
My ears were hurting.
So are we going to talk about MU now?
What a goal this was, by the way. Absolutely brilliant goal.
And the angle was tight, right?
Oh, it was a right foot as well. He's a left footer. He went with his right foot, tough angle. It's up. Quick one, guys. You think goal of the season so far?
I would say definitely a contender for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely
contender.
Very close to Bruno Fernandez's goal.
Yeah. But I still like Ings, during the first day. Ings,
the bicycle kick, you mean?
Yeah, that one is a stand out for me.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on, guys. Let's cover some of the other games. We have to talk about Man United Everton. The club that we have to be talking about is the man who's on the wheel, and we want him to stay on the wheel. Ollie's on the wheel. So, Ram, let's start with you as a United fan. How did you think the game played out? Are you happy with the result? Tell us.
Definitely not. First of all, the result, 1-1. We almost lost the game, to be fair. Luckily for the offside, of course, we almost
that was
lost
such a bad decision.
I
don't know why he didn't shoot.
No, it wasn't offside.
So
he was offside. He was offside.
VAR didn't dare show it.
No, he was offside. He was offside.
It was offside.
The ball was in front of him when he passed the ball back. Yeah. I saw that it wasn't offside.
I said he was offside, but I thought Tom Davies should have shot in any case. He shouldn't have passed the ball.
He should have shot.
But if you ask me about the game, I was very disappointed with the selection that Ole made in the game. Why not? Why did he not play with Pogba in the beginning? Why did he not start Ronaldo and Cavani? Cavani started, but why not have Ronaldo alongside Cavani? You see, in what I see how United play football, when they have these two players going forward, with Cavani playing his off-the-ball runs, that is a very good complement where Ronaldo can actually make effort using that, and also either one of them would have scored goals. It would have been so threatening if both Ronaldo and Cavani was playing. And you see, he started with Martial. Martial knows he's going to leave. Okay, Martial knows he's eventually going to leave the club.
But he scored a goal for you yesterday.
He scored a goal. He scored a goal. But there was no heart. If you ask me, some little players, there was no heart. And again he went with Fred and McTominay. I'm totally bamboozled. I don't understand. What is
McFred.
yes, McFred and McSauce as they call it, right? I'm just so upset because this was the home game that you are coming from a defeat at Aston Villa against Aston Villa, okay, and you should be going all guns blazing against a team that is visiting your home ground, and now we drop points again. We drop points again. I would say thank you Liverpool, thank you Man City, okay, for not getting the 3 points. That was a good consolation for United fans. And now we're going into the international break. Uh, all I can hope for is, of course, a better result, a better game plan in the future. Yeah, Harry, you want to ask me something?
I want to ask you a question, man. As a United fans, I'm going to ask you. Then I'll ask. I want to get the neutral fans' perspective, Eugene and Keshav as well. But
Yeah.
I've been asking you this many times. I'll ask you again, man. What do you think is wrong with United, my friend? Because you can't just say it's a one-game thing now. I think you've
Yeah,
lost
no, you can't.
three or four games in the last 6 games or something like that.
No, it's just the
You
three,
haven't.
the three
You
points.
haven't. I think you've dropped points at home against literally
Yeah.
mid-table sides. Fair to say,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember bringing this up in the Champions League coverage we did. That Ronaldo's goal that they scored in stoppage time. United fans were dancing about that, but I said it's just papering over the cracks. He saved all his job for a bit longer. That's about it, right? So I think it's a fair question to ask you, Ram, now. After 7 games into the season, plus Champions League games, plus League Cup games, what's wrong with United, my friend? There's obviously something not right.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, okay. Let's face it. Ole is not a Jurgen Klopp, or he's not a Pep, or he's not a Tuchel. Let's be honest, okay. He's
So is
nowhere
that good
near.
enough for a club of Man United standard to have
But I'm
No.
saying, but this is what I'm saying. Right? You can have a manager like Ole who has been a manager with us for 3 years now, okay, and now he has got the players at his disposal that can possibly win games and should win games like this. No question about that, okay. But the question now is, what is the coaching? How is the coaching being done? Okay, Ole is one person, but there's also a lot of people involved in the coaching. You have Michael Carrick, you have Mike Phelan, you've got all these people involved in the coaching. And in my opinion, okay, Ole may not have, may not be able to do it single-handedly, but I think the coaching is a massive problem in United right now, because it has come down to the fact that I just read reports that Ronaldo has already made demands that tactics should change.
What did we say? What did we say, Eugene? We predicted this, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, you
Wait,
texted me.
I'm gonna have my part. I'm
Ronaldo.
gonna have my
Yes,
part.
yes. Hold on.
But you see, this is what I don't like. Why is it come down to the players not dictating, but players having to say that, when the
That's
managers
Ronaldo
are
for
the
you, my
ones.
friend. You wanted him, didn't you?
But why? But no,
All right.
I mean, he's probably saying it in put into context. The media would have just ballooned it or whatever it is. Maybe he meant it well, but the thing is, it shouldn't come to that point where players are saying this kind of things. It should be like the manager should know what to do. They should have a proper game plan. So right now, I feel, it's all over a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess.
All right, Keshav, I want your thoughts on this, man. We'll get back to Ram on this as well. What do you think What do you think is the problem in United? Is it the manager? Is Ole just a substandard manager? Actually, Ram just admitted to that. He said he's not Jurgen Klopp, he's not Pep, he's not Tuchel, he's not anywhere near that. For a Man United club, who are pretty much one of the biggest clubs in world football, can you afford to have a manager who's way below your competition's class of managers? Do you think that's the problem?
I would say yes, that's one of the problems, but I just think there's too many players that are big.
The
I would say
egos.
big money signs, yeah, something like that. So it's the cohesion, because you can't have too many big star players. There has to be some balance, and there has to be a proper manager who's going to really expect, because Man United is such a big club, expectations are very high. There needs to be someone who like an Alex Ferguson, but much more like a Klopp, who shouts at the players every time, making sure that you give 100% for the shirt, but also the signings. It's just Sancho has not been really up to par, even though he's done so well in Dortmund. Ronaldo I expected because he's such a great player.
Yep.
Other than it's just the cohesion. It's like you're putting Sancho, Ronaldo. Who else you bought?
Varane.
Pogba,
Varane. Okay, yeah, all those
Varane.
players. Yeah, so I think by slowly integrating them, that will help. But it's just too many big names. I think that is one of them. I think also another one is Ole. I'm sorry, but Ole is just not right. If you were to, if Man United were to hire someone, I prefer it to be much more. I know he's a Man United legend. I can completely understand that, but they have so many players where now it's like they don't need to show it. It's what I'm trying to say is the expectations too high where Ole can't match that expectation. Maybe
It's a great point.
If someone like Newcastle will get him, then it's I think
it's a great point.
That but Man United, like I said now, who's out? Zidane is currently out of the job. Then you've got Frank Lampard and a few other managers, but Man United need to go and restructure themselves again in terms of just the identity, because I don't see Man United. Even I saw the West Ham game. For them to lose against us when we have played our second team, I'm trying to think. Man United, they're not showing that designer where they used to hit 5-6 goals. Remember we played them 4-5 goals and Lukaku was there. So I think it's Ole. I have to say it's Ole that is one of the problems, but also he has to get a formation where everybody's cohesion, everybody's playing together well. So yeah.
There's no pattern of play, isn't it? There's no pattern of play. There's no identity, which is what people are saying. He's just bought superstar signings and he's expecting individual brilliance to bail him out. Game in, game out.
The thing is, Hari and Keshav, I agree with you, Keshav. Absolutely spot on what you said. Thank you for sharing your point as well. But why always start with Fred and McTominay? This is what I don't get. Eugene, you want to share some light on that? I know you're not a United fan, but maybe a neutral perspective.
I'll tell you.
He's got a lot to say. So, Eugene, before you say this, let me just point this out, Ram, as well. One more thing I want to point out before Eugene gets into Man United, right? I think we've got to give credit. I predicted the score, by the way, because I think you've got to give credit to Rafa Benitez. He's done a brilliant job at Everton. He's got them stable. They're very well organized. They hit on the break. And to think about it, he got Andros Townsend on a free. He got Demarai Gray for £1.5 million. Both have been outstanding. Dokore is brilliant from midfield. But you know what? They were playing yesterday without Richarlison, who's probably one of their best players. Without Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Without Seamus Coleman.
Striker.
And they still got a draw against United. Probably should have won. Should have won. Chance as well. So Eugene, go at it, man. Your turn to shine. What's wrong with Man United, my friend?
First, I want to give big shout out to Sam. Right, Sam was with me on Sunday yesterday throughout my whole watch along. Thanks for joining me during the Spurs game. All right. First thing I'm going to say, what's happening is very simple. When you look at Spurs, when we lost 3 games in a row, our whole fan base wanted Nuno out, and the media went on it and stir it up. All right. Now, why isn't that happening to MU? Why hasn't the media gone onto an Ole out kind of a run? Ole's problem was very simple. If he had won the Europa Cup last season, he would have gained the respect of the players, but he didn't. All right. And now, because Manchester United buy big names with big egos, right? Keshan, to tell the truth, if you have a lot of big ego players in your team, and if the manager's ego is bigger than all of them, he will whip them. Don't forget, Mourinho did that, right? Zidane, I don't know whether he'll do that. Most probably he'll do that because
Ferguson, definitely.
So Alex Ferguson,
Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, all the same.
But what I'm saying now, you're saying is that actually Ole is a mediocre manager, all right? Like Nuno is a mediocre manager, right? Put in with a bunch of players with quality and talent, right? And Ole has had 3 years to try to get something out of them. Nuno has just been there, less than 80 days. Right? Media is already hounding on him, jumping on the bandwagon with the fans who say to want him out. But I'm scratching my head. What's happening in MU? Why isn't the media jumping onto your bandwagon and want Ole out?
You want me to answer that question for Eugene quickly?
Yeah, we are biased towards Spurs. I know the media has been biased towards Spurs for a lot of years. We know that.
No. Basically, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is almost like Sir Alex Ferguson's son, you can say, and also because if you notice the media, a lot of the pundits and media in the UK are his former teammates. They are his former
Rio
teammates.
Ferdinand, Roy
Yeah.
Keane.
They will never get on his
Gary
back.
Neville, right, and all that. They will never get on his
Paul
back.
Scholes, they'll never get on his back. Roy
So
Keane,
that's why Harry says what Harry says is correct. Remember during the starting season we said Arteta in, Spurs fans believe in the process. So Harry will tell Ram, keep Ole there, believe in the process.
I have okay. I want to say something.
But to tell the truth, before I finish, let me say this. All right, you guys should sack him like what Chelsea did with Lampard. It doesn't matter whether you're a legend or not. You are not doing it. Get out. That's all.
There's no place for sentiment. You get left behind. You get left behind.
Imagine if Spurs bought Sancho and Varane in, right? Yeah. What kind of a team would we have, right? So that's it. Spurs don't buy players for the now. You buy players for the now, and too bad you have a manager not for the now. Sorry to say, not for the now.
Interesting point by Makal there. Who really picks?
Yes, I want to get your thoughts on this, Ram. That's why I put this up. Who really picks the tactics, Ram? Let us know who picks the tactics now. Is it Ronaldo? Is it Pogba? Pogba has got a unique hairstyle, a new hairstyle yesterday. Is it Pogba?
That's the problem, you know. When Pogba was there, Pogba used to pick the tactics. You see, now Ronaldo is there. Ronaldo and Pogba is fighting over who to pick the tactics. You see, that's why. And Ole can't control them.
Thanks, Makal, for your point. I think that's obviously that's what's going on social media right now. But I said this on social media. There were a few United fan pages that were posting some stuff regarding Ole and the whole issue over here. And I actually responded to one of those Insta posts that was done. So I said very simple. I said, put it this way: as far as the table is concerned, the Premier League table right now, okay, fine. Points are not that of a problem. 3 points behind the top, it's fine. 2 points behind the top, it looks okay on paper at the moment. Okay, in terms of the teams missing out on the points, great. Liverpool and Manchester City drew, fantastic. Now this is what I said. I said we only played 7 games so far. I said let's see. I wanted to see until the 15th game, midway of the season, to see how or what happens after the international break, especially. I wanted to see how he would actually change things, because let me tell you guys, I'm sure Ole knows this as well. He knows something is wrong. He knows that he needs to do something. Now is the time to see whether he will pick things up. He will do something. If by the 15th game he does not do anything, and if United keep dropping points, falling below the table, then I think a lot of onslaught will be on his way. A lot of onslaught will be on his way. So that's what I said, and that's what I think I'm going to wait. I'm willing to wait until the 15th game. Let's see what happens.
Ram, that means basically you're going to wait for Sir Alex Ferguson to start managing the club behind Ole.
No, bro. He's going to get it. He's going to start arguing with Ronaldo.
That's why I'm saying it now. Guys, the problem with Manchester United is that they still don't want to admit that Ole is not good enough. That's all.
Bro.
Simple. No, it's simple. That's all. If you can admit that Ole is not good enough, and the board gets rid of it.
He's not good enough. He is not good enough.
I'm not saying
what I
the
said.
fans.
It's not as good as.
That's what I said. The thing is that the fans are not making enough noise that it's not good enough. Imagine if Ole loses the next 3 matches, will he get sacked? Correct? Like when Nuno lost 3 matches in a row, and of course we lost very bad, right? 3-0, 3-0, 3-1, right?
Yeah.
The whole of the Spurs fan base, I think nearly 70%, 65% were already saying Nuno out.
I think to be
fair, and luckily he beat Aston Villa on Sunday. Yeah. If he didn't beat Aston Villa on Sunday, oh my God, I tell you, I still be doing streams now.
To be fair, if Ole just joined United and he were to lose 3 games on the rot, he wouldn't have been sacked, because it's time. But he already had his time, 3 years. Okay, he has to do something. And I have to admit, I know that of course I have to eat my medicine, as what Harry says as well on the show. Sometimes when you get something wrong, and I have to eat it, because I said in the beginning, Ole is going to be doing something with all the players coming into play. I mean, we signed Rafael Varane. The defense was shit. Okay, we considered goals very cheaply. So I know there is a major problem. Okay, yes, Makal. Yeah, hierarchy wants a yes man. Yes, it's similar like Spurs, like Levy. What trying to do? It's quite similar. But I think.
No, it's not similar. You guys spend money. We don't. All right. You guys, it's not
okay, fine. But I think, by the 15th game, if we don't see any changes in terms of United climbing up the table or scoring some points or being close to the top of the table, then I think there's going to be a lot of onslaught. I think it's fair to say that would be the time that he has to leave if he doesn't perform. But if he does perform, he does get the results. Okay, fair enough.
Right, guys, before we're going to have to wrap this up, move on because we want to talk about a couple of other games as well. But very quickly, I just want to put a couple of points out there. One is the topic that United fans keep bringing up. I hear, why does he keep playing Fred and McTominay? That's the problem. We had to get a good central midfielder, whatever it is. No club is perfect, man. It's Spurs, if you ask them, they'll say we could have got a couple of good central. Liverpool, we need another striker. We need another midfielder.
Ram, do you want?
You deal with the situation. You deal with the cards you're dealt with. Everyone doesn't have a perfect squad. I mean, Thiago didn't play yesterday, but Liverpool still got a draw out of that game. So what I'm trying to say is you got to make things work, and I think that's down to the manager. You can't have a brilliant superstar in every position, right? So you've got to make things work.
Donny went the big. Why?
There you go.
Oh,
Never plays.
He was. I saw he was really upset during the Champions League game. Right? He wasn't put on.
He threw chewing gum. He threw his gum out of the mouth, and he's like, you know what? Now he's putting a transfer request. He's like, you know what? Hell to United, I want to leave. That is the thing. You have Donny Van de Beek who could do something. Fair enough. Concede goals. Okay, fine. Our defense is shit. Concede goals. But put in a player that can actually move the ball forward. Not McTominay and Fred is going to push the ball backwards. It doesn't work that way. So
I mean, he could have also played Pogba yesterday in the middle with either Fred or someone, have a progressive player. He did. So I think, guys, as we wrap this up, United won, Everton won. Long may it continue. Long may Ole stay at the wheel. I think that's how we're going to summarize this part of the show. Brilliant, Ram. Keep going. Now, let's talk a bit about, we've got to talk about, with a West Ham fan in the house today, we've got to talk about West Ham.
We got to talk about West Ham.
I
love West Ham,
West Ham is in Europe. To be honest, Ram, maybe you should have given time. David Moyes, he's flying. He's in Europe. They're doing really well in the league. Did well last season. Doing well again this year. Michail Antonio is on form. I think Said Benrahma has been having a brilliant season so far, by the way. Declan Rice. Oh my God. He's probably the best central midfielder in England right now. Declan is outstanding. He gets forward. He scores goal. He's brilliant as a defensive midfielder. The problem you have, Keshav, is I don't think he's going to stay there long enough. But guess what? You guys lost this weekend, though, against no shame, because you lost to a team that's absolutely flying now in Brentford. I think it was the last minute.
They're frying as well.
Flying.
I think they've been brilliant. So, Keshav, you saw this game. Tell us a little bit about maybe a summary of how West Ham's season has been so far for you. What do you like? What do you not like about them? And also how the game went.
I have to say, I'm really, really delighted about my team because
living the dream.
Because for the past, I think, few seasons since I've been supporting West Ham, it's up and down, close to being relegated, inconsistency. The players don't play for the badge. But now, since Moyes has come back for a second time, he has proven that he's a good manager because especially Man United, I don't know, didn't sack him quite early, but he's gotten a team now which is confident, hardworking, able to do well, not getting the best out of everyone, and for the first time I'm seeing my club in Europe. I have not seen West Ham in Europa League. I think the last time 2015-16, I think was qualified. If I'm not mistaken, we lost, and I was hoping we could get back into the Europa League, and finally we got back. So I watched the last game against Rapid Vienna. I thought we played well. Not the best game. We didn't really play well, but of course, final product, we showed it. But Brentford game, I'll have to say, it was a tough game. When I watched the Liverpool game against Brentford, the key to them playing was their long balls, their heading.
Yes.
And I think they exposed us from there. Because
I didn't catch the game. Were they playing a lot of those long balls as well against West Ham to Ivan Toney and Mbomo?
No, I think it's the passing. They did triangle passes and did through balls to Ivan Toney most of the time. So
Mbomo was amazing, though. Mbomo was amazing.
Yes, and I don't want to be criticizing us because we've been so good, but I thought yesterday we were really poor. Not to say disappointed, but there's going to be bad days where West Ham won't play well. Any other team, of course, will have those days. But not to say it's disappointing, but I think we have to learn from this because now we know how Brentford play. That's the main thing. Now we know how Brentford play. And I thought the last minute I saw. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. We could have defended that properly, because
Yeah, it was the last second goal actually. Yeah.
yeah, the long ball
Mhm.
coming in, and I thought it's the same time. I remember Wisa scored, if I'm not mistaken, against Liverpool.
Yes, he scored
Ah,
against Liverpool the last goal, and he scored against
Yeah.
West Ham again. The
yeah.
last
Yeah,
goal, the
So,
yeah.
equalizer.
but I have to say, I'm happy with Dave Moyes. He's revitalized back. I'm happy with that. And Thomas Suchak, Declan Rice, David Moyes is getting the best out of the squad.
Yes.
We've bought in signings for the future, of course, and also in Europa League is helping us. But I'm hearing Declan Rice linking with Man City, Man United. I have to
He's going to
say,
move, man. He's going to move
he
next
will
summer.
move. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think if you ask me, he's one of the best midfielders. In
I-
that, what? Uh,
I agree 100%. I think he's one of the best in that position in England, maybe even in Europe, because he gets up and down. He's box to
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
He's added something to his game as well. If you watch him last season, he was purely a defensive midfielder. Now he's getting
Yeah,
into
he's
the
starting
box.
to
He's
move forward,
scoring
yeah.
goals. He's scoring
Yeah.
goals. He's setting up goals. And
Yeah.
I just want to throw a thought out there, right? As well, Keshav. Do you think West Ham season may be impacted? They play really well. I think they'll get results. I think the only reason why I think their season could be impacted this year a little bit, or they may slip down a little bit the table, is because they're playing in Europe.
Yeah.
And maybe
Welcome
that's why
to Europe.
and maybe
Yeah,
that's
not-
why they lost.
yeah.
Maybe that's why they lost to Brentford as well, because they played a few days. I think it was 2-3 days ago against Rapid Vienna in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had, so maybe your squad is not big enough. You're having to play the same players again. And do you think that was one of the reasons why you lost, and for the poor performance against Brentford as well?
Yes, definitely. I've keep pointing this out that our squad is not big. We are trimming down the players, and in terms of defense, I'm happy we got Kurt Zuma in, because I thought he's been great. But I thought the point I'm saying is that I'm looking at that striker position, because we keep playing Antonio there.
Because
He's
you
a good
don't have
player.
a you don't have a you don't have a backup
yeah,
for him.
Exactly, we
Yeah.
don't have a backup, and I keep looking at that, thinking hopefully Antonio's not injured. He gets injured, and I'm happy
Yeah.
Moyes is trying to play a false nine, putting I remember last time if
Jared
Antonio
Bowen, I
injured-
think.
Yeah,
Jared
Bowen.
Bowen.
Yeah,
He got his first
Yeah.
goal, name.
yeah, he scored a good
Yeah.
goal. Yeah, very good
Yeah,
goal.
yeah, yeah.
By the way, you know Jared Bowen, Liverpool are after him, right? So maybe we might
Yeah.
I
pick him
know
up,
that.
man.
Yeah.
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 So I'm not surprised that we keep getting Antonio injured, but the problem is you can't find someone like an Antonio. That's the difficult part.
You have someone. We have someone. We will give to you very cheap as well, my friend. A good backup for Antonio. His name is Divock Origi. I think Divock Origi is a great backup. He'll sit on the bench for you. He'll do a job for West Ham. I think he's a good player for West Ham. Actually, I genuinely think
I'll take
as a
Origi.
backup striker. Yeah, I think as a backup
I'll take
striker.
Origi.
Yeah, I
No,
think as
I'm
a
not gonna laugh.
backup
I'll take him.
striker.
Yeah.
No, I think exactly. I think as a backup striker, he's perfect for West Ham, especially for a club like West Ham. I can see him being a very good backup striker. Actually,
We need a backup striker.
Yeah, but
Were you-
overall,
go ahead, Keshav.
overall I'm happy. Finally it's something for me to cheer about, because West Ham are in Europe. We have done. I
Yeah.
have to say, I have to applaud not just the players, but Moyes especially. He endured tough seasons with. I remember Sunderland and Real Sociedad. He went into, if I'm not mistaken.
Manchester United.
And Man United, I know it wasn't given enough time, but I'm happy. He's become more confident. He's the way he speaks to the media also seems he's got belief in his players. And this game which we lost is not going to define us, because
Yep.
we've got Everton coming up, I think. And if we can, I'm hoping we can progress well in Europe, because I think we've got a good opportunity. I think we're playing Genk next, but if we can go through to the, I think get out. What I mean get out means go through in the qualifying
Yep.
rounds. I think round 16, we could have an opportunity to do well this season.
I think so. I think West Ham have a
Yeah,
chance in
yeah.
Europe. They've got a good
Have a
team,
chance.
especially in the Europa League. You cannot rule it out, man. You got a chance. Actually, I'm going to
Yep.
drop
Yeah.
two names here. Keshav. I want your thoughts on this, right? I think two players that have stood out for West Ham. Actually, no, one player that I thought of, because people keep mentioning Mikel Antonio, Declan Rice, Souček. Can I put another name out there? I think this year you're starting to see the best of Said Benrahma. I
His
think-
free
I think
kick was amazing.
I think he's starting to look a really good player for you guys. He's looking into getting a lot of assists, gets goals as well. What are your thoughts on Benrahma?
I have to say he's been performing well. I think last season, if I'm not mistaken, he had to still settle in.
Yes.
Because normally championship players when they come into the Premier League, they need time to adjust. Like Jared Bowen came from Hull City.
Yep.
So I thought Benrahma, because when Payet left, we didn't have that creative spark in that attack. We had Lingard during that time last season, but he offered us plenty of flair. But we wanted somebody who can move. We have to move on from Lingard, so we need somebody that can really give that attacking flair. And I thought Benrahma is really showing it this season. Good player. He will continue to develop more with David Moyes in the squad, but he's starting to show that he's contributing more assists to Antonio, and I can only hope for better performances and goals from him. So very good.
Awesome. Can I just say as well, Eugene, your thoughts on this? I mean, we talk about Brentford, right, Ram? How good Brentford is as a club. Their philosophy, the way they recruit players as well. They've got a very clear recruitment strategy. Just a thought, right, guys? Benrahma comes from Brentford. I think you guys bought him from Brentford. He was a great player for Brentford in the Championship. And Ollie Watkins, who's now an England international, outstanding striker for Aston Villa, also comes from Brentford. I think there's a very good chance Ivan Toney will get a big move as well from Brentford.
He will.
So they are doing great things with recruiting these unknown players and developing them and selling them on for big money. I think they're a really well-run club and they're a good manager.
No, you usually do that. You have to be like that for some time, to be a feeder club. Ram, don't forget, we were your feeder club for some years.
I mean, Dortmund is a feeder club, guys.
But Dortmund's business plan is to be a feeder club.
And they still do reasonably well,
but to talk on West Ham and Brentford, right? The best game I've seen till now, right, is actually the Liverpool and Brentford game, the 3-3 game. That was the best game. That was untouchable. Yeah, that was mind blowing the way they were playing. But sadly, I mean, in the end, gladly nobody won. It turned up to be a draw, right? And for West Ham, to tell the truth, Keshav, welcome to Europe. You guys have to get used to the Thursday Sunday games, and it takes a lot of it. Guys, look at Leicester now. They were in Europe for 2 years in a row in Europa Cup, right? And every time they were pushing for top 4, they always run out of gas in the end and they dropped out, right? But this year, I think they've run out of gas completely. I think they're a bit off sync at the moment. You see, a bit off sync. But
I mean,
West Ham,
I've got a lot of things to say about the fixtures from Europe and Premier League. I've got a lot, but I'm not going to say on this show. I'm super pissed off, but I get your point. Eugene here, and for West Ham as well.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, like you said, Keshav. West Ham are flying. They're doing a great job in the last couple of seasons. Enjoy the ride, man. You guys are playing good football. I think you've got a good team as well, good players all around. I think even Vladimir Sufal is brilliant as a right back for you guys. You've got a good left back in Cresswell. I've always liked Cresswell as well. You've got a good team, man. Overall, a good starting lineup. Maybe not a deep squad, but you know what? I think Moyes is doing some great things down there with West Ham. So awesome, and good to see them doing well. One defeat doesn't shape the season for you guys. We have got now to talk about Eugene's favorite club, who finally got a win, man. You might just not get relegated. You might just not get relegated, bro. And guess what? You're above your North London neighbours against above Arsenal with a 2-1 win for Spurs.
Amount of four of us here, right? Amount of four of us here. This weekend is we had the better weekend. That's all.
Yes. Can I just say, Eugene, before you start about Spurs and how the game went? I saw the second half of this game. I didn't see the first or second half. Can I just say, man, you talk about Mo Salah being underrated. Son Heung-min, Sonny, he was unplayable in that second half. And you guys keep talking about Harry Kane. If I were you guys, I'll sell Harry Kane and keep this guy. If you sell Son, I think you suffer more than if you sell Harry Kane. Son Heung-min runs the show for you guys. He drops deep. He runs the channels. He gets in the box. He's got skill. He's got pace. I actually am going to make a bold statement here. I think he's more important than Harry Kane for you guys.
He is.
We all agree that.
Now the floor is yours, Eugene. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, man.
To tell you the truth, right, guys, I'm not that happy. I'm not elated. I found yesterday, I was doing a watch along and I was shouting at the players from my watch along. What the hell are you guys doing? Right? What the hell are you guys doing? Right. The only thing that happened yesterday is that Villa didn't turn up.
Villa
didn't turn up at all.
And they still got a goal.
I wish
and they still
United
got
played against that. Villa didn't turn up, man. Why did it turn up?
Villa didn't turn up. Never mind. And I was saying the whole stream during my watch along, right? Villa's playing like Spurs, right? But I'm happy for the 3 points. I'm glad that we showed some fight and we took that opportunity that Villa didn't turn up, and we got the win. And to tell you the truth, guys, the first goal went in, but when the equalizer went in, right, you could see the heads drop. And then you could see Son get angry, right? And Son did this after he did that pass for an own goal. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't laughing. He was angry.
Yeah.
Why are you guys like that? You get what I'm saying? Not? We could have whacked them 3-0 to 4-0 in the first half. Harry Kane missed so, but okay. Kudos to Martinez. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world at the moment. One of the best goalkeepers. His psychological play, he plays on the penalty, the saves that he makes, and all that. Harry Kane, I think, had about 3 shots on him, and he couldn't do anything. He couldn't beat Martinez, right? And in the end of the day, it took an own goal for us to win. But of course, we pressured on, right? And Son didn't drop his head. He got angry, and to tell the truth, after that equalizer went in, he switched on. And then when he switched on, I think the rest of the players had to switch on with him. That's why we went
it
on
was
forward.
It was a solo effort. That goal, second goal was solo. You still haven't answered my question, Eugene, so I'm going to ask you this again, man.
Yeah.
Is he now your most important player, the player you can least afford to lose more than Harry Kane? Are you able to put your neck on the line now and say he's more important than Harry Kane for you guys? And maybe he should be made captain of your club because he seems to have the most fight and determination in that team.
The thing is, to tell the truth, Son has been the most, more or less the most. Last 2-3 seasons, we have 2 talismans, so Harry and Son. This season, after the Harry saga, I think Son stepped up. I think why we are wobbling in this kind of sense is because I think Nuno prepared for Harry not to be here in his original plans. And when Harry came back, that threw a spanner into the plans, right? And it takes Harry, to tell the truth, Harry Kane has not actually had a proper preseason. I think this first 6-7 games is going to be his preseason, right? Including all the Europa Conference League qualifiers and whatever he played, right? It's going to be his preseason. Hopefully, when he comes back from the international break, he will start to score, because you could see Harry was desperate yesterday. There was one instance when they lost, Tanguy was rugby tackle, they lost the ball, right? And I think Skippy was running onto the goalkeeper. Harry Kane, instead of just putting a straight through ball on the ground to him, right? He tried the outlandish lob over the keeper from the halfway line, and it didn't work out. That shows a sign of desperation. And I think it shows signs of desperation that that the players around him want Harry Kane to score too. Harry Kane did that back heel pass to Gio. Gio should have smashed it.
Yeah.
Right? Like what he did during the Conference League game. He should have smashed it. No, but he played back a pass to Harry Kane. That's why he was cut out. You see? So at the moment, to tell the truth, being a Spurs fan, I'm happy for the win. But what I saw yesterday, right? Villa didn't turn up. We took advantage of it. And I'm happy we took advantage of it. And we didn't lose that game. That's all. Right? And now we're going to international break. Which I think this season is going to be a bit weird, right? I think every month, about 40 days or so, there's going to be an international break every 40 days or so. So this is going to take a lot out of the teams. That's why I think a lot of weird results are going to happen. You guys watch and see, right? But the squad, which is the strongest squad, not the team, those two will be fighting for it. And I see that in City and Chelsea, right? The rest of us will be fighting for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And hopefully we are among those around there, right? And this is what we hope. And as you know, the game that we won yesterday more or less has extended Nuno's life a bit, being the manager of Spurs, because before that, the 3 losses and the way we lost, right? Everybody was shouting for his head. And the weird thing is that we've been shouting at Nuno, why don't you play 3 at the back? You have nearly 6 centre-backs in your disposal. Okay? Why don't you play 3 at the back? So to me, I think it's contractual. Nuno has to play 4 at the back. He signed his contract, says that I will play 4 at the back, right? To please Mr. Levy. That's all. That's why he has not changed it.
But all I'll say, Eugene, to that is be careful what you wish for, lah. Because you could have Oli as your manager, man. You could have Oli as your manager.
I'm not wishing. I'm not one of the guys. Tell the truth, I'm not one of the guys who are Nuno out. Because to me, it's now, right? Nuno is not the problem. I'm sure Ram saw one of my shows, right, where we went on Nuno is not the problem. The problem is far much higher, right? What do you expect? Like I said, we brought in a mediocre manager to expect to win the league. No, right? And a lot of people, a lot of Spurs fans out there think that Nuno is a stopgap because they're waiting for Poch to come back. Don't forget. And don't forget, Poch lost to start run, right? 2-0 recently on Sunday. PSG first loss. Yeah. Imagine you got Messi, you got Neymar, you got Mbappe, and you still can lose. So think about it. Right. So I guess something is going on there. So we don't go about that.
One thing I'll quickly say is, I think yesterday, from what I saw as well, I thought even Tanguy and Dombele, I thought played quite well. So maybe you guys, maybe some of the players are getting a bit of form. I thought he was okay. Ram, maybe you can help answer the question that I asked Eugene. He answered it as well. But your thoughts, man? Do you think Son Heung-min is the best player in that squad, not Harry Kane?
Whenever I watch Spurs play, I always look forward to see what Son is going to do. He is a playmaker, and I think he is putting so much of effort. No doubt, he was lack of match fitness, or he was not really fit the last few games. He wasn't really himself. I think
injured.
And then now I think he's back to his full form. I think you're going to see a lot of him in the coming games. But this is what I think, right? I do agree with Harry. I do think Son is the most important player in Spurs. You take him out of the equation, you're going to suffer because he's fast. And he honestly, right, I'm going to say a very bold statement as well.
He cares about the club, man. You can see he cares about
the club. He cares for the club, but he has this Cristiano Ronaldo-esque kind of movement
vibe.
He plays. He's got that kind of vibe. He's got that skill. He knows how to cut. He's fast. He's quick. I think this player is going to be the becoming of Spurs. But the only problem is, right, is he? The thing is, Harry Kane for me is not even quick. He's not even fast, okay? And even if he tries to make those runs, he can't really catch up with the defense. So to me, I think Harry Kane needs to go from Spurs for Spurs to succeed, in the Premier League. So Son is the most important.
Keshav, I'm going to ask you the question now again, man. I'm going to ask you two questions actually, and then I'm going to ask that second question across everyone before we end the show as well. But Keshav, if you were a Tottenham fan, would you rather sell Harry Kane or Son Heung-min right now?
Harry Kane. Yeah, I would. Because
there you go.
I think you can bet it. I know Harry Kane is a difficult individual which you can't replace because he's got that quality, but you can invest it in getting someone similar like him, maybe two players similar, or maybe like a Son, but can be developed like a Kane, like that type. So, look, Harry Kane is a great player, but I think I don't know whether he wants to go or he's going to stay. I really don't know.
He doesn't want to stay.
You'd rather keep Son Heung-min as well, isn't it?
Yeah. For me, you're asking me, Ram.
I'm asking Keshav.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Oh, yes, also,
You'd rather keep Son Heung-min, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then now, before I come to you, Eugene, I'm going to ask a question around the board as well. So now, as we come to the end of this episode, and as we come to the end of our discussion about Spurs under Nuno Espirito Santo, who could be under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer very soon as well. But as we come to the end of that discussion, guys, Keshav, first question to you.
Why are you giving us Ole? We don't want Ole. We want Mason.
Okay, Keshav, quick question. This is a very important question, by the way. Eugene's depending on this answer from everyone. Who will finish higher this season? I want you to predict Spurs or Arsenal.
I have to go for Spurs.
Ooh.
I have to go for Spurs. Arsenal, I think Arsenal still need a bit of time, even though they got Ben White and a few other players. But I just think because of Son and Kane, they are able to score more goals. And I also think with the addition of Christian Romero from, I think, Atlanta, I think that will help. And I think did he play against Villa yesterday? I think so.
Yes, he did. He was quite poor, actually, I think.
Yeah.
So I think he would need a bit more time to settle, but I just see Spurs getting that upper edge, not because of their overall squad, but Arsenal still need a bit of time.
Okay. Ram, I'm going to ask you now before I get to Eugene last. Who finishes higher, Spurs or Arsenal?
To be honest, based on the football, if I just want to go based on the football, I think Arsenal.
Ooh. Eugene, what about you, my friend?
Of course, Spurs. Like, we're gonna ask them the question. You want me to scold you like DC.
I'm asking you that question.
Oh, now he's gonna ask you back. Yeah. Yeah, Spurs or Arsenal?
For me, I think I've told you guys many times, I'm quite impressed with Arsenal squad. I think they've got a bit of a problem now, Arsenal, because they haven't realized the importance of Granit Xhaka in their side. They've now lost him, I think, for 3 months. I think he's injured for 3 months. I think him and Partey were making a good partnership in there. So I think that's a bit of a blow for them. But overall, I really like the squad. I mean, at least the starting 11 of Arsenal right now. So, and I like what they're doing. So I'd probably go with Arsenal to finish ahead of Spurs. And also it's a time for Asians, isn't it, in the league? We've got Son Heung-min flying, Tommy Yasu is flying. And guess what? We were talking about this before you came on the show as well, Eugene. There's a new Korean in town. Huang for Wolves, isn't it?
Yeah, Huang Liming.
He scored 3 goals already in the league. 2 over the weekend, 3
for
in
Wolves.
total in the season. Yeah.
True,
So
true.
another player to watch. New South Korean arrival.
Asian represent.
Represent, my friend.
Represent.
All right, guys. Listen, it's been a fabulous episode of reviewing the Premiership's games again. I think we got to say this weekend belongs to Liverpool, Man City. Outstanding clash. That second half really made weekend really good game of football. And it's a weekend that belongs to none other than the Egyptian king, Mo Salah. Ram, over to you, my friend.
Yep. Thank you very much once again, Hari. And I must say, Keshav, thank you so much, for actually joining us. And I can tell you this, Keshav, it won't be your last. You definitely are welcome to join us again, maybe with your brother, Liverpool.
Yes.
And by the way, guys, Keshav has a twin brother, right, Keshav, who's a Liverpool fan.
And a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe when West Ham come along, maybe we can get Kesha on my channel to
Sure.
about what's happening there.
Yep.
Definitely. And like I said, Keshav, thank you so much for your wonderful insights. Brilliant.
Thanks for joining us.
Really good having you on. As usual, we have, of course, Eugene, our panel guest. Thank you once again for joining us.
If you guys are Spurs supporters or supporters of any clubs, do subscribe. Great channel, great
Spurs
content.
Asian TV. Absolutely. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, The Plot Malaysia. Hit the bell notification. Subscribe to our channel. Of course, give us your comments. Give us your thoughts. And if you are a fan just like Keshav and you want to be part of our show, text us on Instagram. You might get a chance to come on. All right?
Exactly.
Cheers. So signing off from The Plot Malaysia. This is the show for the fans.
By the
fans.
Yeah. Cheers, Hari.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Eugene.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.